This is part 100 of C# tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss the purpose of Func Delegate in C# with an example. So what is Func in C#? In simple terms, Func is just a generic delegate. Notice the Func Delegate right here. It has got two parameters, t and t result. The first parameter, that is t, is an input parameter that this delegate expects. The last parameter, that is t result, is what this delegate is going to return. Now, notice that both of these parameters are generic types, meaning we can replace them with the corresponding type arguments depending on the requirement. If you look at the Func Delegate right here, it takes in employee object as the input parameter and it returns a string. Now, in general, what is a delegate? A delegate is a function pointer, meaning it is going to point to a function. So the delegate right here represents a function that expects an employee object as an input parameter and is going to return a string. Let's understand this Func Delegate with an example. So here I have got this employee class with ID and name properties, and right here we have got a list of employees. Notice that at the moment this list has 3 employee objects and we have populated both the ID and name properties. Now let's say using the Func Delegate we want to print this output. So basically what we are doing here is printing the name of each employee within this list. So let's see how we have used the Func Delegate to achieve that. So here we have the Func Delegate. Input parameter is employee object and it's going to return a string. We called it selector, and obviously this is the parameter. So the type of this parameter is going to be employee. And we have the lambda operator, and to the right of this lambda operator we are forming the string that we want this delegate to return. So basically we want the output like this: name equals Mark, John, Mary, etc. So basically we have this hard-coded string here, name equals, and to that we are concatenating the value that is present within the name property of the employee object. Okay, so this delegate right here is going to return a single string. Now we have got the list employees, and on that we are invoking the link function select, and to that select function we are passing the delegate. So what's going to happen behind the scenes, it's going to execute this expression right here. Okay, so basically this is going to be executed against each employee object that is present within the list. So this selector now is going to return an enumerable of strings, and we are storing the list of names within this variable right here, and then we are using a for each loop to print out the name of each employee. I have this exact same program already typed, so let's flip to Visual Studio. So make sure you have these 3 namespaces. We need collections.generic namespace because we are using the list class. We also need system.link namespace because we are using one of the link functions right here, that is the select link function. Okay, so right here we have got the employee class with both of the properties, that is ID and name, and then within program class we have the main method. So basically we are creating the list here with 3 employee objects, and then we have our delegate. So Func, the first parameter is going to be the input parameter, and this is what this delegate is going to return. Okay, and we have named it selector equals, look at this, when I hover the mouse over this parameter employee, look at that, from the IntelliSense the type of this parameter is employee, and that's automatically inferred. Okay, and then this expression is going to form the string that we want this delegate to return. Okay, and obviously we are invoking the select function on the list, and if you look at the select function, it actually expects a func, and this selector is a func that we are passing as an argument. Okay, and when I hover the mouse over this select link function, look at what it is returning. It is returning an enumerable of string. Okay, so this names is of type enumerable of strings, and then we are using the for each loop to print the name. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. Look at that, the output that we expect. Alright, now to achieve this, do I really have to first create this delegate and then this is the expression that this delegate is going to execute, meaning we are passing in the employee object and it's going to form the string and return it, and then we are passing this delegate as an argument to this link function. Is that all required? Not really. I mean, we can directly pass this lambda expression as well as an argument to the select link function. So we are passing that lambda expression. Now let's go ahead and comment this func here, and let's run this and see if we get the same output. Notice that we get the same output. Okay, so the obvious next question is going to be, then what is the difference between the func delegate and lambda expression? They're the same, just two different ways to write the same thing. The lambda syntax is newer, more concise, and easy to write. Now if you look at the func delegate right here, at the moment this func delegate has got one input parameter. Now let's say I have a situation where I want to pass two or more input parameters. Then what to do in that case? Now as of this writing, there are 17 overloaded versions of func, which enables us to pass variable number and type of input parameters. So if you look at this func here, look at this. When we open that angular bracket, there are 17 overloaded versions. This overloaded version right here, you pass in one input parameter and you're going to get a result back. If you look at the next overloaded version, you can pass two inputs. If you go on clicking, if you look at the 8th overloaded version, you can pass in 7 input parameters of different types, and then you're going to get a result back. Again, you can specify the type of that result. Okay, so there are several overloaded versions here which allow us to pass a variable number and type of input parameters. And if you look at this specific example right here, this func is expecting two input parameters of type integer, and it is going to return a string. Okay, so we are calling it func delegate. So the two input parameters right here, the first number and second number. Okay, so obviously the types of these two parameters are going to be integers. And then what are we doing with them? We are basically forming the string, the hard-coded string sum equals. We are computing the sum of both the numbers and then converting that to string. Okay, so basically it's going to return sum equals whatever is the sum of first and second number. So here we are passing 10 and 20. So this delegate is going to return sum equals 30, and that's printing that string right there. I have this exact same program within the notepad, so let's copy that, flip to Visual Studio, paste it right there. And if you look at this first number, look at this. When I hover the mouse over, it's of type integer. Similarly, second number is of type integer. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this and see if we get the output that we expect. Look at that, sum equals 30. Alright, so that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.